Welcome to the Small Business Miracles Podcast. I'm Jeff Randolph. This Small Business Podcast is brought to you by EAG Advertising and Marketing. We're going to talk about marketing, and we're also here to celebrate entrepreneurs by diving into their story, and we learn a little bit more about what makes them tick. Today, I'd like you to pull your creative cap onto your head, way down, close to your ears. Let's think about the world of visual creativity. We're talking to Brad Slaughter, the co-owner of Bark Productions and 19 Below. Video production has changed quite a bit in the Bark production era. We'll talk about those trends and the improvements and about what it takes to build a creative and collaborative space. We're going to talk about Brad's entrepreneurial journey, and we'll probably say something about a beagle in there somewhere. So if you're ready, let's bring Brad into the conversation.
Talk about strategies, talk about capabilities, building all your hopes and dreams. Talk about possibilities, it ain't rocket surgery, but maybe it is. Come on down, we're gonna sit around and get into your business, get into your business.
Hey, we are sitting here with Brad Slaughter. He's the co-owner of Bark Productions. Brad, welcome to the show.
Thanks so much for having me. Excited to be here.
Yeah, we're happy to have you here. We go way back actually in all kinds of, like, I've been in studios that you run. So this is a good time for me.
Yeah, it's good to be on your turf.
That's right. This is the change in balance of power right
now.
Let's start with the company and kind of give us a sense before we get to the history, before we get to your journey to get here.
Yeah.
Let's level set and find out, okay, what is Bark Productions? What do you do? We'll get into a whole other studio thing too, and as part of that story. Tell me more.
Yeah, sure. So Bark Productions, we are a video production company. Mm-hmm. We work with clients directly. We work with ad agencies. We basically we do television commercials. We do content for the web, social media. We're try to be very nimble so that whatever the need is, we've got a solution to do it. But at the core, that's what we do. There's two divisions to our company, Bark Productions and 19 Below. Mm-hmm. 19 Below is the post side of our company, or the editorial side. Mm-hmm. So Bark Productions does the video production. 19 Below does editing, animation, motion design, color grade, post audio, all those sorts of things.
And I can do a totally unplanned testimonial for 19 Below. The way back in the day, doing when I was at a nonprofit organization, professional association, I would come in with some concepts and say, here's what I'm thinking. We'd have a quick conversation, and you guys were able to take that and just turn it into amazing, on budget, on brand content that we then used for our annual conference. And I know that people in that world still remember some of those shows in the I'm going to call it early 2000s, just because I'm elderly, I can say that. Early 2000s, great stuff, multiple screens all coming together with a Blend Pro, and you guys knocked it out of the park for me way back then.
That's
so cool. I'll start with that and say bang up job.
Nice. Thank you. Appreciate it.
I'll embarrass you real quick there. Let's get into that story. Your entrepreneur journey. How did we get here?
Well, my business partner and I were both at Bernstein Rain,
yes.
big ad agency in town. I was a few years out of KU, and Mark Shoddy is my business partner. He was the executive producer of Bernstein Rain. My boss, who I started with, we don't talk about that very much anymore. But
the power balance is
yes, right. Yeah. But no, he was really a great mentor to me, and we were there working together, and we had the opportunity to do some things in other markets as a part of our clients. We had such great big national clients, and we would travel all over and work in big markets, and we just kind of noticed a lot of things that, maybe were a little underserved in town or weren't really being offered to the degree that they could be. And we had some ideas, and he was really the lead and said, I think we should do this. And I was in my late 20s and said, sure, what the heck?
Yeah,
And
I don't know better. Let's do this.
Right. So we started Bark Productions in 1999, and it's been great. And it's been just kind of ever evolving, and no two projects are the same, and different staff and offices and clients, and it's just kind of been a cool journey for us.
Yeah, because you've moved. We'll come into the space aspect of this at some point, probably in a lightning round question or something. But you very intentionally designed that space that you have now, because you've moved around for a couple of different places, right?
Yeah. So Bark, our first space, which is kind of interesting to me at least, is that it was the two of us, Mark and myself, in the Union Carbide building downtown. It was 1,100 square feet. Two of us, we shared a computer when we first started. I mean, we started on about 5 cents, I feel like.
Yeah.
But yeah, the place we're in right now, we love. It's right by the Boulevard Brewery, and it was we love that. But
there's some perks there.
yes, exactly. But it was a warehouse, and we were able to go in and design it the way we wanted to, so we could build out edit suites and an insert stage and all those sorts of things. So it's been great.
Outstanding. Well, let me ask about you started with one computer. Now you wouldn't be able to do that. That would not fly.
Right.
The difference in the industry and in the technology in that time, and we're recently coming up on producing AI video components that go into a final production that would make it really difficult to shoot something like that. But now you have a little more flexibility when you combine all of these methods. Tell me about what you're seeing these days and how that all works together and how that maybe has changed over time.
Yeah, it's funny because when we first started, it was 30-second television commercials.
Yeah.
That was what we were doing, and we were shooting them on film.
I recall film. Yes,
yeah.
I remember
so it
that.
was 35 millimeter if you had a lot of money, and if you didn't, you'd shoot on 16 millimeter. And we did that really up until about 2006. And we made the conversion over to HD because the quality just got so much better than what it had previously been. So these days, it is really interesting. The question that everybody's asking is about AI and how is that helping or hurting, and how do you use it? And, on the production side, it's been interesting because a lot of times when we're doing pitches or, we'll put together what they call a director's treatment, where the director will come in and give his vision for a project, and it'll be a kind of a presentation that's put together, a combination of a write-up and imagery and that sort of thing. We've used AI a lot for kind of some examples of how we would execute a production. So that's been really cool. We've used it kind of, in a number of ways on the production side, but more so on the post side because, there's just from a animation and, all the things that go through in post-production, things like rotoscoping where you're cleaning up imagery or you're doing composites or you're creating CG elements. We use it as a supportive tool. It's not really the lead because it's not easy to change. And a lot of times if you have art direction and clients that are, have a really specific vision of what they want to do, that's a little clunky.
Yeah.
But you can use it to save time in post. And that really saves the client money, and it streamlines what our post guys are doing.
Yeah, and those AI tools have been baked into the marketing tools that we use for years now. And I assume the same in some of those easy buttons in an editing suite where you go, I just want this to be. Put a filter on that or something.
And it's interesting too, because even like voiceover stuff. So we'll go in and, if we're making like an animatic or something that's part of a presentation or the early stages of a project, we'll go in the booth and read, and then it'll say, turn that into a 35-year-old female voice from the South.
I
You
just
know,
want to hear it. Let's just see what
yeah,
it's like.
yeah. So there are a lot of, a lot of little tools to do stuff like that. So we're getting deeper and deeper into it, but I think somewhat cautiously. The only thing that's ever been a little bit of a caution for us is a lot of times our clients know enough about AI where they might present something to their client and then say to us, we just whip this up in AI, so can't you?
Can't you
And
continue this?
Right, and it's really a lot of times not that easy. So there is you just kind of have to manage it the right way, but it's very helpful.
I'm curious if you have a vision for where that goes in the future. Like I would expect things just get easier, work a little better. They can start to do the tasks you're asking it to do.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts on in your world how that works?
I think speed and efficiency and budget will all be huge benefactors of it. And it's just got to get to the point where you're able to modify it more.
Yes.
There's a lot of times where you kind of get what you get.
Yeah.
But that'll get better.
You're prompting, prompt engineering something to go, no, you had it right before. Please go back to that.
Right. And, there might be a shot where you're looking in one direction and you want to then, you're always shooting coverage where you're getting different sizes and angles and that sort of thing. So there's a lot to be said for, the organic nature of production. And I think that that's going to have a place for quite some time, but it's definitely a helpful tool.
We'll see. Watch this space. See where we go.
Right.
I'll use that as kind of the dovetail into the next question about the kinds of clients that you've got, because you've McDonald's, Garmin, Wendy's, LG, the U.S. Navy, some really big, very impressive clients on your list. But you also work. I mean, we'll go back to my association management days for some smaller budget kinds of things, and you've been able to achieve excellence across both of those things. As you think about that, the difference in serving giant clients and smaller ones, what are the similarities and differences? What are you what is it just craft services? Is it just that the catering is better? Is that?
Yeah, it's funny because I think it's the same mindset for every single job, and that is to make it the best you can make it. And there are things about both ends of the spectrum, budget and project size wise, that are really great, and their advantages. It's like the big projects are fun because the budgets are big and you're working with sometimes celebrities or you're doing stunts or visual effects, and you're learning so much about that. And that's definitely it's a growth experience. You're shooting in different places. We had a big project this year that we shot in Vancouver, which was fantastic. And just the whole idea of shooting outside the country and using a service company and just some of those sorts of things that give you more experience. The small stuff is so gratifying though, because you're really getting your hands dirty and you're the one doing it. You're the craft service. You're the gaffer. You're the shooter. And the thing that we love about the smaller projects is that you have a voice in them, and you can really help somebody that is looking for that. And it's part of like a new trend that we're doing more as a company now, which is called end-to-end production, which is you're a little bit more involved in the very beginning stages, the strategy, the concept, and if you can collaborate with a client directly or an agency that could use some of that, that's as gratifying in its own way as the big stuff. So they're all approached the same way. literally when we start a project, we're doing a budget and it's the same template, it's the same everything. It's just scale, really.
Yeah.
But they're all equally important to me.
I'm gonna I'll throw out the term creativity just and I'll butcher a Robert Frost quote, I'm sure, that Robert Frost said that writing poetry without rhyme, without verse, is like playing tennis without a net. Like anybody could do that, right?
Yeah.
If you were just open and could do whatever you want.
Yeah.
I've always kind of felt that big budgets are if I could literally do anything.
Right.
I can do anything. Like there's great, but when you put a constraint on it like budget,
Right.
and you really have to think through how am I going to do this?
Yeah.
That's where creativity shows up.
Yeah.
It's that there are rules now, and I have to find the best solution within this box. And it seems like
Right.
those smaller projects where you have some constraints and you're doing all of it yourself, you're going, okay, yeah, let's come up with a solution. Let's figure this out.
Yeah, yeah. And again, there are a lot of similarities in the different sizes of projects, but because when a client does say, not money is no object, but it's definitely a healthy budget, there's a lot of strategy there too, because you still have to pull it off at a very high level.
Yeah.
And there's that sort of pressure. But I feel like when you're doing the smaller ones, if you've got the right team and the right skilled people that you bring in or that are a part of your staff for that specific style, execution, all that sort of thing, it's super rewarding. And yeah, it's they both sort of have their own healthy pressure to them to achieve. But yeah, that's all great.
Yeah, outstanding. Well, I'll talk creativity then in a different way. I'll have you put your small business owner hat on. In the creative world, you have to inspire that creativity and collaboration and get everybody to work together on the same page and make sure that team approach happens and the creativity really comes through. That's not an accident. That's by design. I know you've designed your current space around that. Just kind of curious, all the different ways that you help foster that collaboration and creativity.
Yeah, moving to the space that we're in right now, we've been there for, I think, about 7 years or so now, but we did it purposely because we had the production side and we had the post-production side, and they were always in different locations. And we did that initially and we branded them differently. They had different names, the whole thing, because we thought, wow, what if a client wants to shoot with us, but they want to edit with somebody else, or the other way around. They want to, so we did that, and thankfully it never really came to fruition. And everything that Bart shoots, 19 Below does the post on, and if somebody's shooting with another company or out of town, there's no issue.
Right.
That sort of thing. So that's been great. We got everybody under one roof, and we really did design the space for that collaboration. And the thing about our business that might be a little bit different is that it's such a visual business, and it's such a collaborative business in the way that one guy's doing an edit that hands it to the next guy to do color, that hands it to the next guy to do, motion design, that hands it to the next guy to do post audio and voice recording and sound design and original music and all that sort of thing, that it's really more of an in-person type thing. And actually, when the pandemic hit, we were out of the office for maybe 6 weeks.
Oh, wow.
That's it.
That's not long
And
in
we
pandemic terms.
We were back, and we designed the space. Thankfully, everybody has their own edit suite, so everybody during the pandemic was isolated from each other, but we were all there because to be able to duck your head in someone's edit suite and say, can you take a look at this? Or what do you think of this? Or here's what I'm going to it's so much better in person, and the quality of the end result, the communication, having clients come in for edits. There's really that shorthand nature. There really isn't a substitute for it.
Yeah. It's a fun creative space too. I enjoyed coming in there for
anytime.
my last
Anytime.
Let me let's see the what's next question. Where do you go from here?
Yeah. Well, I do feel like so much has changed. I feel like, there are a lot more. When we first started, production companies were a more defined group, and I think these days, everybody's doing production in some form, and so it's kind of trying to find your ground within the wild, wild west, basically.
What's the sweet spot?
Yeah. So, I feel like the things that we offer are experience and quality, but the thing that going forward, it's like, what's another point of difference? Because, so and so down the street is doing it in their basement, and there's a lot to compete with, and people are doing it. The technology is so much different and so much more accessible to people that there's a ton of people that are doing really great work.
Yeah.
I think that the new thing for us is the end-to-end production that I mentioned. It's really getting involved early and being able to help strategize and concept things.
Yeah.
And, our company is one that I think is different to different clients. There are clients where it's the traditional form where here's the concept, let's make it better, and let's go from here. Where there are other clients where they need some help kind of figuring it out, or saying, we know we want to do this and we think this is maybe the budget we want to be in. What's realistic? And when we get in earlier, not only into the budget conversations but the conceptual conversations, I think you are more successful because you don't concept things you can't afford, or you just give yourself that better a chance of success.
Yeah. That if it is a creative message worth sharing and worth sharing visually, I'd want the creatives involved from the beginning.
Yeah.
That just seems like the right call. I like
and the same people all the way through too.
Yeah.
So it's like, a lot of times it was client talks to agency, talks to production, then talks to editor, then talks to, there's several steps down the line, and it's still a totally viable model, and obviously great work happening all over the place. But I do feel like, a client that's working with a company like ours that can really get in early like that, and it's the same people that are taking it all the way through the finish and the deliverable. Nothing gets lost in translation or falls through the cracks.
Yeah. I love it. I great. That's a great perspective to have. If it's okay with you, I'll take you into the lightning round. We do a thing on the show that's the lightning round, and you have no way to know the kind of topic I may be throwing out there.
Oh boy.
Usually that's something to do with food at some point, but we'll see if I can't find out more about you through the lightning round questions.
Okay.
Are you ready for the lightning round?
I am.
All right. Let's start with you mentioned that at some of those higher budget productions you work with a celebrity. Every once in a while. Who is that celebrity? Like if you want to show off to somebody and you're like, oh no, I got to work with, who is that person?
Well, we have a client that we do a lot of work with right now, by the name of Paycom, and they're a HR software and payroll company in Oklahoma City, and we've been fortunate enough to work with them for about the last 7 years and do all their commercials.
Oh, wow.
And as a part of that, we worked with Barbara Corcoran, who was on the show Shark Tank, or is on the show Shark Tank. Shamar Moore, he's been in a bunch of stuff, but he's on the show SWAT right now, and he plays an action hero type role. And then this fall, we did the project that we did in Vancouver was with a guy named James Marsden. Oh, yeah. And he was fantastic and so great to work with, and so talented. But that was a thrill and a just a collaboration with a really talented actor, and he was great.
I always like it when they live up to the reputation.
Yeah.
They're like, oh yeah, and you're a genuinely good person too. Like that's always a fun thing to have.
Yeah, very prepared, very into it, really. I mean, because, you run into those things over time where,
I'm into movies, but I'll do this for
I'll
you.
Take a paycheck.
I'll take this job. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
And he was not that way at all. He was really great to work with, and we had this initial meeting with him, and I won't drone on and on about this, but we had this initial meeting because I know this is a lightning round, which
It
is,
is. Well,
I'm taking all the lightning out of it.
We
but,
expand the lightning round as needed.
he jumped right in and said, "Listen, I'm ready to try things. I'm ready to collaborate. If you have ideas, throw them out at me. I'd like to do the same."
Yeah.
It was really refreshing.
Gotcha.
So,
do you have a favorite project that you've worked on? And whether that could be just about anything over the course of the years, but like this was a great shoot.
Boy, there have been so many. We did one for McDonald's. Actually, our first job we ever did was for McDonald's, and that was our big break when we first started the company. But we did one with Chris Jones from the Chiefs a couple years ago, and he was terrific. And we were shooting at the Chiefs training facility, and there was some CG involved, and we got to cast in Chicago, and it was a really fun production, and it was a challenging one, but that was a really good experience.
Perfect. Is there a part of the business, because you've been doing this for a while, is there a part of the business that you wish you knew more?
Yeah, there's probably a zillion things I wish I knew more, but I am intrigued with, what goes into some of the upfront stuff that our clients and our agency friends are dealing with. And, being on the agency when I first started my career, I kind of was exposed to it, but their dealings with clients and their how the thing gets off the ground is really a cool process. And just I can only imagine the pressure of the creative teams. And we're now involved with that, and that's kind of one of the things that we're learning more about all the time. But it's like getting assignments and coming up with strategy and ideas to pull it off, and we definitely partner with people that are really, really skilled at that have done it at a high level, and being a part of that has been really fun, and we're just hoping to do more of it.
Yeah, because by the time it even becomes a conversation for you, there's some heavy lift that's already happened to get it there.
Research and client expectations, and who are you talking to, and what are you saying, and in what form, and there's a lot that goes into it up front.
Yeah, that's a good upstream kind of thing to think through. Personally, as you think about your own social media channels, do you have a favorite platform that you're on?
I think Instagram
is your go-to.
I think so. And I think it's interesting because, and we were just talking about this in a social media meeting we were having yesterday, but a lot of times new clients are people that are kind of checking you out to see what you're all about. Yeah. They're hitting your social feed as much as they're hitting your website.
Yes.
And which is something to always be bearing in mind, because creating social content is not easy, and being, consistent with that. And, so I think Instagram's been best for us. It's a very visual, obviously, platform, and that's what we do. So it layers into Facebook and other such things, but that's the key.
That's the one for you. And we see that, especially in employer branding, where if I'm about to go apply for a job, I'm going to do a deep dive, and I'm going to, go through to find out, did you do that picnic? Did you tailgate as a company? Did you do, are you good people?
Yeah.
And so we see that same kind of thing when we're checking you out. Is there a difference in, social media platform between the company and you personally? Do you have a personal kind of platform that you're on, or are you not on anything?
I mirror them. So, Instagram and Facebook and X and stuff like that. I would say that more of the focus is company based on postings.
Magnify the posts of company.
Yeah. Yeah. But you're right in what you were saying about, Instagram and social media. It's like getting to know the people in the company, getting to know kind of a little bit of the behind the scenes, and seeing things that you wouldn't see on a website, or that it just kind of gives you a little peek behind the curtain, which I think is a cool opportunity for a company to be able to really showcase who their people are, because that's what people are gravitating to you for. And the one thing that always comes up is technology, but it's the humans behind it that have the skill. You still have to be able to light a scene, and there's art department and wardrobe and performance of actors and things like that, no matter how advanced the camera or whatever the AI technology is, you got to have that core element. And I think those social platforms give you kind of a little peek into that.
Yeah. This is the Small Business Miracles podcast. And so when we think of a small business miracle, having worked with entrepreneurs for, a very long time now, we think of a small business miracle as that thing you didn't think you were going to be able to pull off, that challenge that you faced that was we're going to need a small business miracle on this one.
Right.
Do you have that kind of small business miracle for your own company that you would point to and go, yep, that was it?
Well, I think starting it in the first place, truthfully, was the miracle.
Yes. Yeah.
Because it was one of those things where, Kansas City is such a great community and film community and advertising community, but it's very accessible in a way where if we would have tried to do the same thing in a huge market, it would have been maybe not something that we would have been willing to try or would have been successful at. But here it's like there's such great talent, but there is, there's an opportunity for anyone to try something in a market like our size, but with the creative depth and the talent that's here. It's a really unique place.
I like that answer. I'll end the lightning round with this question.
Okay.
When you think about Bark Productions and the dog icon, is there a specific dog that you're thinking of? Is there a dog breed that you're thinking of?
Well, I'll tell you that Bark itself is Brad and Mark.
That makes sense, and it makes me think I should have really put that together for this moment. So,
well, that was the beginning point, and Mark and I both have beagles and have had beagles since the beginning of the company. So I would say there's a likeness to a beagle there.
Beagle. I think a beagle is a good mascot. And shout out to Snoopy from way back in the day. I'll take that one.
Definitely.
I'll take you out of the lightning round. Well done. Congratulations, you survived.
All right.
That was good.
That was fun.
Tell everybody where they can find you if they want more information, if they want to find you. Where should they go? Where should they look?
Yeah, I think the easiest way to do it is it's barkproductions.com. And it's 19below.tv, so 19below.tv. I feel like I have to spell that out, but, those are probably the two places to hit, and then all the contact information is within there, but being able to see work and get an idea as to who we are, that's where to go.
Good real viewing right there.
Yeah.
Brad Slaughter, co-owner of Bark Productions. Thanks for being with us today.
Yeah, thank you so much. It was great.
Perfect.
All right.
And that is our show. Thanks so much to our friend Brad Slaughter, and thank you for listening to the Small Business Miracles podcast. Remember to subscribe, leave us a 5-star rating and review, drop us a line on the website at eagadv.com if you have any thoughts. Until then, we'll be out here helping entrepreneurs with another Small Business Miracle.
Talk about strategies, talk about capabilities, building all your hopes and dreams. Talk about possibilities. It ain't rocket surgery, but maybe it is. Come on down.